Hey everybody, changing it up a little bit today. I'm going to, instead of reviewing anything specific, I'm going to compare three high-end masks that are out there today that I've reviewed in the past and kind of just give them a side-by-side comparison. So the three things I'm going to talk about today, you got the Dye i4s, you got the Empire Events, and the VForce Grills. Okay, so these are the three sets that I have, so let me tell you about them. And I'll just go top to bottom rundown. So start off from the top, forehead protection. The i4s don't come with anything. If you're gonna, hi Bean, this is my dog Bean. If you're going to have some sort of forehead protection on the i4s, you are going to have to put it on there yourself. I use the visor from a VForce Vantage, which is very easy to install and works really well and gives you nice solid forehead protection, but stock, nothing there. The Events forehead protection, you can get the relatively flat, and it comes with these, the relatively flat visor or the taller, about 2 inches, the forehead guard. Both of those offer forehead protection, obviously the guard more so than the visor. Neither one is all that secure though, because unlike VForce, Empire doesn't put the little O-ring, doesn't give you the little O-rings that you can put to lock them in place. So you have to take that into consideration, but both of those do offer some forehead protection. Okay, and then finally the VForce Grills. Now without using the visor is good, as you can see. It offers, you know, some marginal bit of protection. It offers more protection over the normal goggles than the visors do on these, simply because the normal goggles in the middle here dip down. So instead of being flat across the top like the Events and the i4s, it actually dips down in the middle and you can get hit right between your eyes, right above them there. So by putting the visor in place, you're preventing those types of hits. So even though in the absolute sense this doesn't offer you that protection that high up on your forehead, compared to what's there beforehand, it's a pretty good improvement. So highly recommended the visor on these guys. Okay, so that's forehead protection. The clear winner here with the forehead guard is this, but once you mod it, the i4 is pretty good too. Okay, so let's talk about lenses. And since I'm holding the grills, we'll get right to them. VForce lenses for a long time had an issue, that they had the anti-fog coating on the back rather than true thermal lenses. Well, now they have true dual-pane thermal lenses, and all is right in the world. So any of these masks, you can get dual-pane thermal lenses. These two come with them. I'm not sure if they're shipping with them yet, but my understanding is that they will soon be shipping with the dual-pane lenses. So basically it's a wash across that. They're all excellent quality lenses. They all have really good wide field of view. You can see here that's a really wide field of view, so is that. And then of course the grills, nice wide field of view across the board, so nothing wrong with that. The lens change systems are different in each one. The i4s require you to push the strap locking, the strap little bits forward, and then you can pop out the lens. On here, it's the same as on the Avatars. You rotate the strap clip 90 degrees. You do that on each side, pop out these pieces, and then you can pop out the lens. And over here, it's the same as always. You unclip the strap, then this little piece moves out of the way, and you pop out the lens that way. All three systems are very quick, very easy. It's basically a wash which one is the best. It's, you know, all can be done in well under a minute to replace the lens entirely, or pop it out, clean it, and put it back in. So the lens change systems are all really excellent here. Let's talk about the foam. The foam in here is pretty similar actually across the board. The softest is the grills, the hardest is the Event, and the i4 is somewhere in the middle. One thing that all of them have is a gap here. Okay, you can see this gap right in there between the top and the bottom foam. You can see the same thing in here. And it's a little hard to see in here because they're close, but it is a little cutout there. They have those gaps, and those are for glasses, for the earpieces for glasses. So theoretically, you could wear glasses for each of these. But that brings me to my next point, compactness of the fit. And in that category, the Event has a lot more room on the insides than the other two. In fact, with this one, with the grill, my nose tends to sit up against the inside. That might not be a problem for you, but it's something that you should be aware of, that this is a much more compact fit along with the i4. So if you wear glasses, those two might not be the best options because they are much tighter to your face than the E-vents. The E-vents really do feel a lot roomier, and you can see just in their shape that they are, you know, a lot roomier than the i4, for instance, there. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about along those lines? Oh, staying with the glasses, the lenses in the grills, you can see, are much smaller. They base their lens size off of sunglasses, basically. So it's this much more compact lens kind of layout. And the end result there is that you might not have room in there for a pair of glasses. So also keep that in mind. So moving south from the lenses and the foam and everything, we get to the actual goggles themselves. And let's talk about the fit of the goggles on the face and the protection they offer. The i4s are basically the tightest pair of goggles you're going to find. They are, you know, as you can see, they're teensy. And I don't have a big face, but these do not really cover my face entirely. Okay, even with my mouth closed, my chin is right there. With my mouth open, my teeth are exposed, okay? You know, no problem like that. On the side, my jaw is pretty well exposed, and my earlobe is coming out underneath the soft ears here. The E-vents right here, actually let me unclip the chin strap there. We don't need that. The E-vents, okay, right here with my mouth closed, chin is pretty good. Okay, with my mouth open, and my lip might be exposed, but my teeth aren't so much exposed like they are with the i4s. And then on the sides, okay, marginally better than the i4s. Earlobe is still a little bit exposed, but not as much as with the i4s. And then finally the grills here. The grills have an interesting issue. Grills, see how this doesn't come to a point around it or anything? It's actually kind of indents back inward. That means your chin is much more exposed than it has to be. With your mouth closed, front of your chin, right there, okay? With your mouth open, teeth, very similar to the i4. On the jawline side of it, it's a little bit better than the i4 though, although I'm not sure it's quite as good as the E-vent. So look at here, okay? And then the ears are much better than either of the two of these. With regard to the ears, this is very similar to the VForce Vantage ear design. It comes down very low, so none of your earlobes should be exposed or anything. That's a really good feature of that because you don't want to get shot in the earlobes. That'd be painful. Alright, so that's how the fit works. Another thing to talk about here, this one does not have the soft ears. I mean, they're soft and rubbery, but it doesn't have the cloth soft ears that you see on the E-vents or on the i4s. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're looking at these. And then also the flexibility of the material. These offer the best protection of the three, except for dead center in the chin. But if you look, this is the softest material. So if you get hit like here, that's going to smack you. In the middle, it might. It's pretty rigid, so it probably wouldn't. It wouldn't be like a flex, like a Pro Flex or something that would do it. These guys, this is pretty solid though. Okay, that's not going to do anything. And the dies right here are also pretty solid. On the sides you get a little give, but for the most part pretty solid, not going to smack you in the face. Okay, there's not really much to compare with the straps or anything, so let me just say a few words about the fit. As I said before, these guys, they offer a bit of a tighter fit around the face. My nose presses up against it, which is why I don't particularly care for these, but otherwise they're nice. The fit around the ears is much looser than the i4s. It's about the same as these guys. Okay? Feels kind of like a Vantage around the ears. These guys are the roomiest of the three. You got a lot of room in here. You can see it's nice and, you know, bulbous up here compared to how flat that is, or, you know, this guy, okay? So you got a lot of room in here for your nose and your mouth and your breathing, which is nice. Nice venting. I haven't really compared that across the groups, but you got a lot of ventilation in the front there. Okay, on the ears also feels very roomy. In fact, this mask to me feels too roomy. I feel like it's too far from my head, and because of that, it's not quite as secure as it could be. But this is the roomiest of the three, so if you have a bigger head, this is probably the best option. The dies are the tightest, but they pull it off really well. Unlike the grills, where you actually, where for me, my nose sits up against the inside, that's not the case here. I'm not sure what magic they had to do to make that work, but despite the fact that these are the tightest, my face doesn't actually sit up against the inside here. So while I can tell that it's a tighter fit than the E-vents, it's actually, you know, it doesn't feel as tight as the grills, even though clearly it is a much closer fit. On the ears, however, these are the least roomy. This is pressed up right against you. It doesn't inhibit your hearing at all, but it's a different feel compared to the other two, so you have to take that into consideration. So I think that about wraps up my discussion of these three excellent masks, all excellent choices. And really what it comes down to is your preference. You should go to a pro shop before you pick one of these out and try each one of them on. Run around with it on a little bit, see how secure it is, see how well you can hear, see how well you can speak, see if you sound muffled to yourself when you have it on. These are important things to consider, and you're not going to be able to figure them out just by watching a video like this comparing them. You actually have to go and try them on. Because you might be surprised. For instance, for everything I said, you might think that these guys are my favorite, especially since my prior mask was an invert avatar. Turns out these are my new favorite goggles. I love the way they feel. I love the way they fit despite the lack of jawline and chin protection. I really love the VForce, but you might, you know, be different. So go and try them on. As far as prices go, they're all pretty much, they're pretty close. These 100 to 110, these 90 to 100, I think these are about 80 to 90. So they're all in that same range of high-end masks. But those are my thoughts on these three masks. Hope that was informative in some way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.